Hello everybody, welcome to Oprah's Record Review, where today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the brand new album from Phoenix model and singer-songwriter Kacy Hill. Now, last time we heard from Kacy Hill was on her debut album in 2017, Like a Woman, and now 3 years later, she's returning with her sophomore album. So, let's get into Is It Selfish If We Talk About Me Again by Kacy Hill. So, as always, we're going to first take a look at the cover art for the album. Don't have really much to say about this one. Just a picture. It's a nice picture. It's a cute picture, but 4 out of 10. Now, on her debut record, I think that Kacy showed a lot of great promise, especially with her voice. It's so beautiful and so calming, and the instrumentals were made perfectly to match her voice. However, on this album, a lot of the problems that I had with Like a Woman also show up here. My biggest problem being the lack of variety in Kacy's lyrical themes. Once again, for most of what's here on this new record also just shows up on the last record. We just have a crop of love songs and breakup tunes. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting to write about these types of things, but then at this point you have 2 records that mostly sound the same in its lyrical themes and sonically. Also, her voice. Now, Kacy has an extremely beautiful and very smooth voice, and it's very calming. But at no point on her last record or this record do we ever get any songs or moments where she shows a little bit of passion, a little bit of fire. No power in her voice, and I know that she can do it. And again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to always sing in this very calm and soothing way, but I still think that she could benefit by showing a little bit more diversity in her vocals. Even so, I still think that this album still has some of Kacy's best work yet. Porsche, in my opinion at least, is probably Kacy's best song. Here she's able to break her love song streak and is able to create a nice song about loving yourself and giving yourself positive affirmations. These sparkling keyboard melodies go great with her soulful and very catchy chorus. Everybody's Mother was also a big standout moment for me here. Even though it's kind of short in length, she's also able to get a little bit more personal with us, talking about the feeling of loneliness and just kind of longing to have someone there, not even necessarily a lover, but maybe just a friend. The song is arranged very nicely with the bass going over the chorus and the strong hi-hat rhythms. It's arranged very nicely. Not to mention this song is also extremely catchy too. I was playing it in my head all day after I had heard it. Towards the end of the album we had 6, which was also really great in my opinion. Here she's able to kind of give us a little bit another story. She gets a little bit more personal on this one, talking about trying to move on from somebody and the effects that it takes on her mental health. The effects on her voice here is a really welcome change, in addition to the synth keyboard leads and the strong sub bass. Dinner wasn't too bad either. Well, this one still kind of is more in the love song category. She kind of puts a different spin on it and kind of tells us more of a story. Other than those crop of songs, the rest here kind of just feels a little bit average for Kacy at this point, except for the song Told Me, which is easily the worst song that she's ever made. It's supposed to be an interlude, kind of like how there was an interlude on the last album, but the difference is this one just sucks. It's absolutely terrible. There's little to no writing. It's almost 4 minutes, the longest track here just for an interlude. It's nonsensical. Why you need an interlude on like a 30-minute project, I don't know. It's nonsensical, it's long, it's drawn out, and it just should have been left on the cutting room floor. It's not necessary here at all. I like the 80s feel with the really big drums and the synths that were chosen on the song To Someone Else. But again, for this one here, the writing seemed a little bit minimal, as it also does for the second song in the track list, Much Higher, which also seems to be a little bit lacking on writing. These 2 songs kind of seem a little bit subpar. Overall, Kacy's record here is definitely an improvement on the last, and I really hope that she's able to keep improving and diving a little bit more into her personal life, as she did a little bit on this record, and giving us some more interesting stories, and maybe giving us a little bit more fire, a little bit more passion in her voice, and maybe going a little bit more bigger and grander on her instrumentals. This album's getting a 6 out of 10 for me. And that's going to do it for this episode of Record Review. I'll catch you guys on the next one.